Slavery and just compensation to the Fifth Amendment, and is referred to in other parts of the Bills of Rights. If you're looking for somebody to take the time and energy to do something for you without compensating them, what you're looking for is called a slave. You have been plagued, most people these days have been plagued by two things: the sweet, flamboyant talk, kind of designed and replaced by different appearance, but it's the same old thing. And the second thing they've been plagued with is the hypnotic art of repetition. People repeat that same old thing to them in different ways, with a guise of excitement, with a guise of passion, with a guise of flamboyance, with a guise of swiftness to it. And people just eat it up. They go, here, take what I have. By the time they finish those words, and they turn around and say, okay, so I have given you what I have now. What you said, I could do all this. You said all this could happen. Where is it? By the time you turn around, they're gone. The wolves, the vampires have sucked you dry. They have now left you in this dry, hot desert during the day, and when it gets dark at night, it gets cold. You've walked that desert day and night. Your lips all dried up and chapped. Your skin all wrinkly, suffering. You've dragged your feet for miles and miles and miles. You find an oasis. And you're like, oh, finally. And you see a man in that oasis. And you went, give me, give me, give me. The man said, sure, here, take a cup. From the sweat of his brow that he has worked hard to get from that well that's been built in that oasis. Gave you a cup from it. He toiled to get that water out. And he gave you a cup. Said, sure, take it. I see you're in need. And then you go, all right, give me more. The man said, well, no, I gave you that cup to give you sufficient energy so that you can fetch yourself. Your response is, oh, you're a gatekeeper. The fact that you've been taken advantage of and sucked dry by vampires and wolves in the past is a result of the fact that you fell into the hype train and you were plagued by it. And now you are looking for a slave, despite the fact that that man actually gave you sufficient energy now to fetch for yourself and is not denying your access, because information is your right. Despite the fact that you were given a drink of that cup from that oasis that that man has worked hard to get from his barrel, he even offers you the tools to fetch it, rather than saying, well, you're asked out. And he's saying, all right, go and fetch it. You have enough energy now. I gave you a cup from the one that I worked from. Now go fetch it. You're saying, you're a gatekeeper. You're a gatekeeper. The issue lies in your discernment. You've allowed wolves and vampires to suck you dry, and now you're looking for a slave. And you still lack the ability to discern. By your own doing, you destroy your own opportunities. There are a couple of types of people with these type of information. Some of them just want to be in the crowd yelling and screaming, yeah, those guys are bad. They're the villains. They can't do this. When it's crunch time, they can't do anything to really prove or back up what they're talking about. Another type of group of people are those who will tell you, yeah, they can't do this to you. You got to do that. But they're not showing you the source of it, the law, the principles behind it, or the proof of how they've applied it in the past, or are currently using it. So you fell for that because you yourself fall in the third category of people, which are those just looking for a handout of freebies. Those second category of people who just talk all the swift, flamboyant, smart talk without any proof are the ones looking for that third group, which most people belong to, just looking for freebies. Price of looking for freebies, you're convinced that, hey, give out your life savings and everything you own, and you'll be giving all this great things. You're giving all this promise of this gold and treasures. And so you give out all your life savings, and now by the time you turn around and finish the words in your mouth by asking, oh yeah, so I gave it all to you, so now what's all that stuff that you told me about? They're gone. And then it goes back to the depiction of you walking in that desert. You've been sucked dry, you have nothing else. And you find this other man in the oasis. And he's telling you, well, cool, no problem. I'll give you a cup from the barrel that I have worked hard all day and night to fetch from this oasis. And I'll even give you some of the fetching tools so that you can work towards it yourself. Because this oasis is available to everyone. Information is your right. But you're saying, what? You're going to give me the tools to work, and you're only just going to give me a cup of water from your barrel? You're a gatekeeper. That's called stupidity on your part. One, stupidity by allowing wolves and vampires to suck you dry and not using your discernment. And two, you finally find something that will pull you out of that dry, cracked situation you're in. And you yourself are deliberately pushing it away. That is stupidity at its finest. And then there's the other side of the equation, which are people who want that dynamic to exist. They're looking at you and your stupidity, and they're laughing at you because that's exactly what they want. They are creating a slave out of you, and they want you to create a slave out of others. And by virtue of that, you will never get anything done. If you are not going to compensate someone for what they have, despite them giving you enough to get what you need, what you're looking for then at that point is a slave. Most people have been dealt with in a manner of slavery so much that that's the only thing they know. You can only be what you know, and you can only perpetuate what you know. And because of that, the only thing that they know how to perpetuate is slavery. Either that or they fall victim to it. But the second group of people looking for those to take advantage of, those wolves and vampires. When it comes to these information, oh, there are a lot of them out there. And if you fell for one of them, chances are you're most likely going to be seeking out for a slave after that point. And if that's what it is, best of luck to you. You probably should go back to that wolf and that vampire who sucked you dry. Ask them if they can kind of recoup you and volunteer some of your blood back and give it to you. Best of luck.